Alright, good morning, or whatever time it is over by you. So this is a tutorial in C++ on for looping. So another kind of loop is a for loop, and this means that for a certain number of times do a set of actions. And it's set up like this below. Get the last bracket in there. You have for followed by an open parentheses, counter followed by a semicolon, the conditions or single condition that will keep your loop running is the next section, and the changes to the counter is the final section. Now this will obviously be explained, and you'll see a few examples of a for loop. So the first part we're looking at is the counter. And this is the variable used in the for loop. So most commonly it's an int or an integer. Could be short, int, long, whatever, double even. And usually given the name I, j, n, or x, but you can use any name you wish. That's the standard rule of variables. You can name the variable anything you want to. The second part of the loop are the conditions. So this is the logical condition or conditions that will keep the for loop running. Now if the condition is true, the loop will run. Otherwise the loop will stop running and the program will continue. And this section makes use of the logical operators we've seen: logical and, logical or, less than, greater than, etc. Okay, and a bunch of the others. And the final part are the changes to the counter. So if you do not change the counter, the loop will run forever, causing an infinite loop. Certainly possible. Here is where you need to increase or decrease, or any other appropriate action, to your loop counter. It may involve the plus plus or minus minus operator, as well as the others. So to see some examples of loops, we have a loop that's set up like this. For integer I equals 1, I less than 10, I plus plus. So what will happen? As you can see in the comment, the loop will run 9 times, holding the values for I 1 to 9. And simply it will just see out I. The next loop is for an integer x equaling 10. X is bigger than or equal to 0, x minus minus. And that one will run from 10 to 0. Why? Because it's including 0. Look at your condition. And here we just have C out 10 minus x. Now again, loops are not just used for outputting. I mean, they could be used, you'll see certainly when we get to arrays a bit later, that they have certain other uses. But for just the basics of programming, for now we're dealing with C out. And your for loop, the next one, for an integer n equals 1, n less than 100, n plus equals 5. So instead of just plus plus or minus minus, as mentioned, you can change it to whatever you wish. Here we change n by 5. So the loop will run from 1 to 96. Why? Because 96, when you increment 96 by 5, you get 101, and that's out of bounds of your condition. So the loop will go 1, 6, 11, 16, 21, dot, 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 96. And again, we see out 2 times the value of n. So simple loops, certainly. So now, switch gears here for the moment. As you can see, I upgraded my machine from the last time. all the fanciness of Windows 7. So you see all 3 loops typed out accordingly, and now let's run them. So you'll see all 3 loops in one shot. Of course, we're going to build it, so this might take a moment. Okay, so paired with this first loop, you see the output here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, accordingly. Here, this loop, which is the second line of output, is 10 minus x, and I actually, as you can see, based on the loop in the example, should be less than or equal to, so that's not a problem. We can just go back and recompile. Okay, so as we were, the 10 minus x will basically make it output 0 through 10. So 10, the first time through the loop, it's x holds the value 10. So see out 10 minus 10, which is 0. X minus minus goes to 9. See out 10 minus 9, which is 1, all the way through. And the last one simply outputs 2 times the current value of n. So remember that you're changing n by 5, so it's not plus plus, a simple change. So here n is 1, 2 times 1 is certainly 2. The next time n is 6, 2 times 6 is 12. Next time n is 11, 2 times 11, 22, etc., all the way down. So this was just a simple program for you to see. And now stay tuned for our next tutorial, which will include nested looping.